Welcome back to the Wayback Chronicles podcast, where we talk about everything from the 1970s to the current years. This is Steve, and I'm back with my good friends, Noel and Keith.
So on this episode, we're going to be talking about the 1988 TV and movies, and Steve is going to be leading the conversation. So Steve, over to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. So TV was changing dynamics in really 1988. So we finally started to see cable TV win versus air over antenna or just the local network assortment. So at the time of 1988, we were just about at 79 cable networks and just over 50 million cable subscribers. And so TV was becoming, I guess, a bigger form of entertainment. There was more channel options. MTV had been, blowing our minds away for 8 years at that point. And so a lot of cool things going on. So with cable in well over half the U.S. homes, the audience share of ABC, CBS, and NBC was at 61% and dropping annually. Cable audience share had grown to 20% and was steadily growing. That year, cable generated $1.5 billion in ad revenue, which was a year-over increase of 40%. So obviously we talked about in pop culture about how Wrigley added lights to their stadium for the first time, and so this really just the power of the advertising dollar and the power of getting these baseball games in prime time in every single stadium was becoming a bigger deal because of cable TV. So in '88, some great shows came out on TV, shows that we can think of in our high school days. 48 Hours debuted in January 19th. Do you all remember that show?
I do remember that show.
I don't.
48 Hours, the TV news thing?
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched that.
Oh, wow, man.
Keith, do you recall that one?
I remember it. I do recall it. Yeah. Wasn't a big news watcher, but I do remember seeing it. I definitely do.
Yeah. One of the well, this may get cut out, but one of the cases I worked on was on 48 Hours. That's how I know about it.
Yeah.
Of
course, I probably watch it now because Robin loves to watch murder shows and all that stuff. So
that's all it is now. It's about crime that happen across the country.
Yeah.
So that's
matter of fact, I hope she doesn't listen to this. She'll be mad at me not knowing about that. So.
It could be a lot of trouble.
So she'll be in trouble if she doesn't listen to this. So there.
Yeah, that's true. Either way, catch 22.
Good, touche.
Exactly.
Nice.
Been married for 25 years. I know how to play the game.
I still have things to learn. Noel's marriage is my North Star.
I feel bad for you, man. I feel bad for you.
So January 31, The Wonder Years debuted, and it actually debuted.
Love that show.
Yeah, it debuted after the Super Bowl, if I remember right. So did y'all have a crush on Winnie Cooper?
Who didn't?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Arnold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And
so,
Wendy.
Yeah, that Wendy actress, she's on a lot. She's one of the reasons that lets me endure the Hallmark Christmas specials.
Oh yeah,
she still looks about the same, just in an older form.
Yeah.
Her real name is what? Danica something. Danica something.
Yeah.
Danica.
Danica.
She's not as pretty as my wife, but she's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
if there's nothing else to do, I guess Hallmark's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Danica McKellar. Sorry, Steve.
McKellar. Yes. I would never guess that. I
wouldn't have either.
I was like Danica Patrick. No, that's the racer.
No,
racer.
She's a racer.
I'm out of Danica's after that.
Those are the two I know.
Our research team jumped into high gear right then.
Yes,
so
nice
pretty
job
good. Thank you, research department.
Yes.
February 7th, America's Most Wanted
wow.
debuted, and I loved that show. And I was always worried that one of the episodes was going to be in our town. And crap, I don't want to be in the same town as America's Most Wanted person. So
right,
kidding.
Noel, your favorite show came out on MTV in August 6th, and that was Yo MTV Raps.
Oh, Yo, I have I don't think I've ever watched a single episode, Steve. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, let's
In
get
fact,
that out there too.
This is the first time I've ever heard it actually existed. So nothing gets rap. It's just not my jam. So
yeah.
That's funny.
October 18th, Roseanne debuted on ABC, and it was a great show. And then it gets made a return. I guess it's probably like 10 years ago now, but then of course Roseanne found trouble and was kicked off the show. So I don't even know if Roseanne or whatever it's called now, the new name, is even around anymore.
I don't know. I think they are. I think it is still. What was Roseanne's TV last name? Because I think
Arnold's, right? Wasn't it?
No,
no,
she was
I
married
don't
to
think
Tom
so.
Arnold at one point. Roseanne Barr was her real name.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Roseanne Dano.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
Oh, shoot. Oh, Connor. The Connors.
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
Connors. There you go.
Yeah. So it's
that's right.
the Connors is what's on now, but it's kind of struggling.
Is it still on?
Yeah, it's not doing what it was when she was on the show, but
yeah.
Interesting.
Did you ever watch Murphy Brown?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Did you?
I feel like that was up there with, like, what's that show from Angela Lansbury where I always remember my grandparents watching it, but I never. Yes. Yeah, that was one of those where I remember it being on TV, and I would go be in the other room.
Yes.
That's what I remember.
I don't know. My grandparents watched the same stuff, Keith, because it was Murder, She Wrote. Pretty much every time we went down and saw my grandmother, and Matlock. I don't know what Matlock.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness, man. Jeez.
Yep. And Murphy Brown, it seemed like it was right up there with those whenever the TV.
Yeah, totally.
And then they'd toss in an episode of we talked about it in one of previous episodes, but oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. With the banjo and the guitars and
Hee Haw.
Yeah.
Throw in a hee haw every once in a while in case you were still awake. They would put you to sleep. Oh my god, gracious!
So I think that Keith and I have more fond memories about Hee Haw than Noel does, because
I did
up in the 78 episode that Noel was not a fan.
I don't know. I just couldn't. I don't know. Just couldn't get into it. Sorry.
I think I've gotten more respect for it as I've gotten older and appreciated how good they were than I did when it was out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like the whole Lawrence Welk thing. There is no way I'd have clawed my eyes out whenever that was on in the television. I'd be like, that's when I'm going to hit my GI Joes, right? But but it's like you got to respect the talent, right?
Yeah. And the final debut, or I guess premiere, was November 24th, and a show that I thought was about as dumb as it can get. Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh man, I love that show.
That's a great show.
I love it.
Yes.
I mean, there were some good moments in there, but it just like I couldn't stand watching people watch a movie and comment on it the entire time.
Freaking hilarious! It's the way I watch movies now. I'm making comments left and right, and it bugs the heck out of Linda. I'll sit in there and she'll be watching the movie, and I'll come and plop down, and she's like, "Don't say a word." I'm like, "Why not?" I mean,
it's what I do.
It's what I do. The movie's funnier whenever I'm making comments, and it's annoying you. But no, I'm always like saying stuff, and just like they'll say something, and I'll like pop in like a quick one-liner or something in there, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, my kids are dying laughing." So at least somebody laughs at my jokes.
Somebody's got to appreciate it.
Yeah. But I love that. Some of the episodes are a little over the top, but they find some of the most obscure movies that have never been seen before, never should be seen.
Right.
And they make so much fun of them, man. It is so funny.
It's a great concept. You think about it. This is 1988. If you think about it, that's almost like a video podcast as it gets started in a syndicated show. You know, like let's review a movie and make it funny. That's funny. Yeah. So pretty wild.
I'll throw some respect at that show.
Yeah.
There was two game shows that returned in 1988. The first one was Family Feud. Its previous final episode aired in 1985, and finally returned. And of course now it's still going strong to this day. Steve Harvey's rocking that show. And if you ever watch videos of Steve Harvey
my
hosting
gosh.
Yes.
Family Feud is hilarious.
Oh, that guy is hilarious. I love Steve Harvey.
He lives the life of a passion, and you can't help but love the guy.
You can't. It's great.
And then the Gong Show made a return after its final episode in 1980. And I just think the Gong Show was hilarious. And when they made the return, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't think it hit at the same, I guess, tenor that it did back, I guess, in the 80s when there was like more colorful actors and celebrities that were on that show. But a few big shows ended in 1988. First one was Sledgehammer, and its final show was February 12th. I thought that was a cool show.
It was pretty good.
May 1st, Magnum PI had its 2-hour season finale on CBS.
It ended in 1988?
Yeah, 1988. I still think about, Magnum out there teaching that girl how to swim in the ocean.
That's the first visual I got when somebody said Magnum. That's funny.
Yeah, and then the car, but mostly the girl learned how to swim.
Absolutely.
I love the Ferrari, man. That was my first introduction into Ferraris and sports cars. Really, like, oh my, that car is cool.
Yeah. And then one that ran all the way from 1979, and its final episode was May 7th, and that's The Facts of Life. And,
wow, that was a great show.
We grew up with that show, and it was a common theme. And then the last episode for a character on MTV that I bet y'all probably forgot about, and it's going to be a little nostalgic flashback, but May 12th was the final show for Max Headroom.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Max Headroom.
Max Headroom.
Wow.
Yeah. A few others out there. St. Elsewhere ended in May 25th. And I don't think I ever got into that show. It seems sort of boring. Then
I've just never been a hospital show guy. I know that's goes against everybody else in the country, but they just, I don't know. They all seem like the same thing in a different era with trendier clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I you know what I can't stand talking about hospital shows. This is not 1988, but it's the Grey's Anatomy. What I don't like about, there's a lot of things I don't like about it, but the most things I don't like about it is the incessant talking by the main character. Like, she's talking the whole thing. I'm like, would you shut up and just let me watch the show? And then they start playing music in the background too. And they're like, would somebody turn the music down? Because I'm trying to listen to the show. I feel like, get off my grass, get off my lawn right now. But honestly, it's really annoying.
Totally.
That's what those shows Linda loves. And I go in the room. I'm like, would that chick just stop talking? Does she not know that they're trying to film a show here? Like, get off the microphone. Facts of Life, Tootie. I was trying to think of the Tootie and Blair and Joe.
Joe, right?
Yeah,
Joe.
Yeah, right. And then what was the sponsor or the teacher's name? Miss. Gosh, I have it in my notes here somewhere.
Oh,
Miss Garrett.
Miss Garrett.
Yeah,
Miss Garrett. And then y'all know George Clooney was in that?
No way.
He was played the character George Burnett.
I had no idea.
Yep. Yeah. He started in season 7 and ran until I think the end of it, actually. So
wow,
how interesting. I had no idea.
George Clooney. Now you know.
Well, here's another fun trivia. So Tom Selleck, right? What iconic movie role was he supposed to be, but the commitments to Magnum kept him from being that? Do y'all know?
Not Batman. We know that. We talked about
not Batman.
Before.
Superman?
Nope. And it's coming out here. We talked about it in the last podcast. One of our guests talked about it in the Nostalgia podcast, that it's a old show that's coming out with a new movie this month. Which we're recording in June, by the way, right now.
Man,
so
I don't know. I don't know that.
Okay. Indiana Jones.
Oh, really?
My goodness.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yep. Pretty interesting.
Wow. Do y'all know what we're talking about, the Magnum PI car? Do y'all know what model it was?
I don't.
No clue.
No clue?
No clue.
It's the 308 GTS.
Nice.
I thought it was a 328, but I research department corrected me. It's actually the 308. So
you're definitely the premier car guy.
I've got a car thing, man. I really do. Always have.
You raise your son just like you as well.
No.
Two peas in a pod when it comes to cars.
Very, very much so. He and I have that in common. We love to go to car shows together, and we've been doing that forever. Like when he was a little kid, we used to go to car shows all over the place. But I love it.
Yeah, love it. May 27th, Punky Brewster had his final episode, then later returned in 2021. Of course, I think that ended after one season. But
Punky Brewster. Did y'all ever watch Punky Brewster?
Yeah, I did.
I did not. I knew I had a lot of friends that did. I didn't. Yeah.
I did not watch that.
Yeah. She was always going through drama.
Oh.
But then Solid Gold had its final episode on July 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that was upsetting to Noel.
Yeah.
As a Solid Gold fan.
You
got to really just retire your disco outfits.
I don't think I like TV. I don't think I like musical TV. Like I don't know.
Did not either.
Hee Haw and Solid Gold. I just don't like. I don't know.
American Bandstand. Remember that one?
Yeah. I thought American Bandstand. I always think of the theme song Bandstand. Bandstand. And then the game show Pyramid. Ended in on September 2nd. They returned in 1991.
That one.
All right. So was that what was that? Was that I'm getting that confused. Was that with actors that were famous actors?
That's changed around. If I remember, I didn't. Dick Clark.
Yes, he did.
Hollywood. I believe that show ran for.
Oh, the $100,000 pyramid or whatever it was called.
Okay,
I remember that. Okay,
they changed the monetary amount several times, and always I guess it was like the Pyramid Empire or whatever it was. And
got it. Makes sense.
Advertising dollars were.
The one with all the Hollywood people was the Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares. That's right. I liked that show a lot.
I did.
Rich Little. Rich Little.
Awesome on that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, one of the biggest TV moments in 1988 was the Winter and Summer Olympics. And Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So interesting thing about this. So in 1988, they did Winter and Summer Olympics in the same year. So it actually continued like that until 1992, when it changed to the IOC split the Summer and Winter Olympics, which is like it is today. So, but back in 1988, they did Winter and Summer Olympics in the same year. So, in '88, the Winter Olympics took place in Calgary, Canada, and then it's an interesting factoid about, and I don't mean to pick on our neighbors to the north, but during the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal, Canada became the first host country not to win a single gold medal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Take off, you hosers.
Very first time that's ever happened of any host country ever.
They should definitely stick to Winter Olympics then.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that. So during the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, Canada, they also did not win a gold medal. Second time.
Oh no!
Canadians are so nice. They don't want to take a gold medal away from their. They want to be nice hosts. So
that is very nice of them.
Isn't that funny though? 76 and 88 when they hosted, they didn't win a single gold medal.
So for our listeners, I had no idea that was not a tee up. I had no idea that was coming.
So while we're talking about the Olympics, which Olympic do you, I guess, winter or summer? Which one do you look forward to the most?
Summer,
yeah.
Yeah, I love the Summer Olympics.
Yeah,
what about you, Keith?
I like the summer a lot, but I do like watching like bobsledding, and the luge and some of those are a lot of fun to me. But I think as a total, I like the Summer Olympics better too.
I love this. I love the swimming. I love the diving and swimming, and of course baseball and basketball and stuff. Sports that we just dominate in. I love those.
Absolutely. I think that might be part of it too. I know that the U.S. shines in the Summer Olympics,
for sure.
So here's another question for you. Like, do you feel like I don't really how do you say this? I don't get the sense of excitement now that Olympics are every other year as I did when it was a big 4-year event.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
How
agree.
do y'all feel?
Yeah, I agree. It used to be something where you'd like cancel stuff to like make sure you could watch the Olympics and stuff. Now it's just it's so accessible too. It's sort of like I could watch it on my phone. I don't have to like gather around the TV with my family and friends and watch the Olympics. I mean, it's just it's
We're not
everywhere.
going at 7:00 at night to watch Mary Lou Retton, right? It's
exactly. Exactly.
I just can't keep track of it. You know, is this upcoming one? Is it winter or is it summer? It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just the advent of, like you say, on-demand everything, or if it was the 4 years that split that really kind of lost its luster, so to speak. But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's still a big deal to a lot. But I can tell you, just from people I talk about, people aren't nearly as enamored with the Olympics now as they were. Maybe that's not everybody, but to people I've communicated with, that's the way I feel or perceive it.
Yeah.
So talking about excitement about the Olympics, my wife Linda absolutely loves curling. Like,
really?
Oh my gosh, man! Like that. Like we watch every everything curling, like from the beginning of the match to the gold medal match. Like we're a curling family. It's ridiculous, but she loves it. And I told her, I said, we live in Houston. There's bound to be like a curling league somewhere around here.
Oh, yeah.
And there's actually like, there's a place you can go. I think it's in Southwest Houston. You can go and there's like a curling league. And I don't know why. I don't know how we haven't gone down there yet, but
it's going to happen.
It will happen. No doubt. I'm sure of it. But
funny story about that. I had when I was starting with the company I'm with now, one of our trainers, a female, was a curling professional curler out of the Phoenix area. And so we had her, she was one of the ones that does the calls, like and like there's different calls that they make like really loud. And so we made her, like at the end of one of our sessions, we made her do the calls and it was great. So she was so loud. Like I remember somebody came into our room, like making sure everything was okay. It's great.
No, it's safe to say that if Linda starts playing curling, that'll be one more game that she wins.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Can't play a game with Linda without expecting to lose.
Exactly. It's true, man. Wins. It's true. I hope she's not listening to this because her head's just getting so inflated. It's sadly very true.
Facts are facts. That's all I can say.
It's true. So on the 88 Summer Olympics side of things, so we talked about the Winter Olympics being in Calgary, Canada, and how nice hosts they were. The 88 Summer Olympics were held in Seoul, South Korea. Now, the interesting thing about that I don't have anything in my notes where South Korea didn't win a gold medal. I'm assuming they did. But the interesting thing about that is that in the opening ceremony, it was a tradition going back to the first Olympic Games where they released doves during the opening ceremony, sort of symbolic, peace and all of that. So, but that whole tradition ended in Seoul in 1988 because upon releasing the opening ceremony doves as part of the opening ceremony, several of the birds, instead of flying away, settled on the cauldron housing where the Olympic flame was, and they were incinerated in front of a worldwide crowd.
Holy cow. Oh, wow.
Crispy doves.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody saw that. I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense. No more birds. I get it. I'm sure that was probably very traumatic. And you imagine back in 88 what it was like. I mean, if it was bad back in 88, can you imagine today? Like how many organizations would have just flipped out on the IOC for that?
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, those are my two little interesting tidbits about Olympics, Steve. And he mentioned it as part of the TV of 88.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty fascinating. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Random TV notes. So you remember Jimmy the Greek Snyder?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a famous sports commentator. Anyway, he got banned and fired for his comments he made about breeding practices during slavery, leading to blacks becoming superior athletes, and totally horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
And give CBS credit, they moved quickly.
Yeah.
And
they probably needed to.
Yes. And but it's just, I remember, watching that game when he said that. We're like, did he just say that? Really? And we were so shocked by it. But
he's not drunk or anything. I just came right out.
Yeah. Wow. Who knows? He may have been drunk. Who knows? But I don't know that you had to be sober to be a sports analyst back in the day.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure he was often seen smoking cigarettes in the broadcast booth, but just wired them differently back then. But as I mentioned, during January 31st, the pilot episode for The Wonder Years aired following the ABC's coverage of Super Bowl 22. And I did not look to see who was in that. But do y'all remember Saturday night's main event? It was a wrestling show that happened Saturday night. Well, yes. February 5th, that debuted with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant competing on that show.
Man.
Professional wrestling's returned to prime time for the first time since 1955. So I mean, I couldn't wait to watch that every Saturday night. And so good stuff.
Those are so good.
Yeah. February 21st, televangelist Jimmy Swaggart was involved with the sex scandal, admits to being with prostitutes, and temporarily ends his television ministry. And I can't remember. I can't remember how long he was off the air, but it was quite a while. And I have no idea if his television ministry is even on TV or not. I know he's passed, but
I don't think if he's dead, he's probably not still on TV.
Yeah, but I don't know if the Empire's still continuing or whatever. I think his son was following his footsteps. Hopefully not all the footsteps.
Really, really terrible TV shows.
Is the microphone off?
What do you think about it, Jimmy? Back to you.
That's so horrible. We should probably leave that out of the show.
Yeah, good idea.
Swaggart family's not listening to us anyway.
The clouds are building up outside. So, March 19th, the song "I Heard It Through the Grapevine" experiences a surge of popularity. Do you remember why?
Because of California Raisins.
Yep. So their version of the song peaked at number 84 on the Billboard Hot 100. And I remember my brother had these battery operated raisins that would play that song, and I would play that song all day long.
Remember the little plastic character things, or like they had those everywhere. Like they put pencil toppers, and
I remember that.
Golly, they were talking about pop culture. That should have been in the pop culture one, but that's. That
spans a lot because I had it in my music notes too. So that spans a lot of eras there.
It's true.
Disney Channel celebrated their 5th anniversary in 1988, and I'm not sure
that was when Disney Channel was good. I mean, Disney Channel has just fallen off in my opinion. Maybe families with younger kids, but I try to turn that on to watch with some of my, like granddaughter and all this. I'm like, man, I can't handle this anymore. It's just not the same. You used to have some good stuff. But not anymore.
Mm-mm.
So May 13, I think we all remember this, in the season finale of the CBS drama Dallas, character J.R. Ewing pushes over the railing of his high-rise building. The character Nicholas Pierce, and Sue Ellen is so enraged that she fires 3 shots at Ewing, which led to the "Who Shot J.R." Trend for a while until the following season started. So
it's the invention of the season finale cliffhanger.
Yes. I remember that was talked about all summer.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I was allowed to watch Dallas, but even I heard all the hubbub about that. Like,
but I thought, wasn't that that was early. The Who Shot JR episode was.
Do I not have that right?
I mean, that may have happened, but the Who Shot JR episode was earlier because we talked about that almost in 78 because that was it happened in 1980.
You're right.
Oh, we'll scratch that.
Anyway,
so
but that may have happened, but it wasn't the same Who Shot JR, so they may have tried to do it again.
So it prompted the Who Shot JR Ewing again.
Yeah. Okay. That poor guy.
Anyway,
start drinking some sarsaparilla. It's gonna be like that cartoon with all these bullet holes.
All right, Keith, do me a solid and delete everything after 3 shots at Ewing.
Fair enough.
So this is cool. July 14th, and I've never been caught up in the sensation, but the first ever edition of Shark Week airs on Discovery Channel in 1988. So have you ever got consumed by Shark Week?
Oh my gosh, yes. Jeez.
Really?
Well, so
I know a lot of people that have. I haven't, so let's hear it, Noel.
Well, my family, I don't know if it's really Shark Week, but my family has got when we get together, like we watch like normal movies and stuff, but in the last few years, we've taken on the task of watching every shark movie that's ever made. So like we started with Jaws, like the obvious ones, and now we're like watching Sharknado, and then the Sharknado sequel, which is just as god awful as the first one. If you're not familiar with the concept, it's a shark tornado, and other awful things. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my family, but we have a bad shark movie thing going on that we like to indulge in. But yeah, so it's maybe not. It's maybe not.
Did you think the movie Jaws was good?
I think the movie Jaws.
Yeah,
I think if you watch it now, you're like, God, the special effects were so god awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
at the time.
Yeah, at the time, I think it's a good movie. I don't know what you sound like. You're like,
I hated it.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I never did like it. I mean, to me, it was terrifying as a young kid. But
right,
just the idea of it. But yeah, especially if you watch it now, like, God, was this ever good?
Yeah, it's kind of a movie. It's a movie classic, and I don't know. Keith,
I like how they are. I did. I enjoyed it. I think it's really cool now how they're starting to do it in like boat shows, or they're doing it at lakes where you can swim from an inner tube and watch it while you're sitting in the water watching Jaws. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's a sick twisted sense of humor right there. But I think it's hilarious that they're doing that. But,
yeah.
So yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie, but it definitely is iconic, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It started going into there were way too many versions of it over the years. I remember where there was Jaws 3D, and I mean, it just started getting out of hand. It's like all of those franchises. It's like they started off, first two were great, and they should have cut her off,
Yep.
So
do you remember the first 3D movie you ever saw?
Oh man,
mine was Flash Gordon.
Oh wow, the 80s Flash Gordon.
Yeah, and so you remember the one point where they're trying to inject him, Flash Gordon, and in 3D that needle's coming right at you. Oh man, I remember my mom jumping up out of her chair, and it was so great. That's awesome. Do you remember your first 3D though?
I don't.
I don't remember.
I don't
remember. I remember going to see, like, when there was a resurgence, like there was, like in the early 2000s, it started coming back to being really popular. But I don't remember the first one I ever saw. I remember it was bad. Like, I don't know if it was like the glasses that I wore, I just never felt like it was quite there. You know what I mean? So I was like, why are they bringing this back? And then the new stuff was actually really good, but I don't remember what it was. Maybe, I don't remember. I'm not even going to guess. So,
yeah,
but it was a pretty cool trend.
Yeah, absolutely. October 3rd, TNT, the fourth cable network owned by Ted Turner's broadcasting, commences, and they started with the broadcast of the movie Gone with the Wind. And nothing like putting your audience to sleep in a new cable network. Gosh, I mean, might as well show soccer after that.
I had a teacher. Your hatred of soccer.
I mean,
it runs deep, man.
Only soccer deep. I like is from Ted Lasso. But
there we go.
I had a teacher that we watched Gone with the Wind in school. Like, I think it was my fifth grade teacher. I think we watched that, and now to look back as an adult, I'm like, boy, talking about easy school for a couple of days. I mean, because that movie went on. How long was the movie? Like 10 hours?
4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah.
Was it 4?
Yeah, I think it was.
I thought it was
4 going on 40.
Yeah, has it ended yet?
Yeah.
Right. So I want to go to one that maybe we forgot or we didn't mention that I remember, and I think it's because I've got some autism in my family. But we talked about St. Elsewhere, but I thought the interesting part of the season finale or the series finale was that the entire basically St. Elsewhere revealed that the entire series was a product of autistic boy's imagination.
Yes.
And thought that was really interesting. So, autism in the 80s wasn't very well known, to where it is today. And so, I just think it's pretty interesting that they decided to wrap that whole series up talking about that being an imagination of somebody with autism. So pretty cool. But I just thought it was really fascinating. And, like I said, having some family and friends who live with that, I just thought that was really pretty neat way to introduce that to a lot of people to understand and learn what it was.
I've got a couple of nephews that have autism. So or on the scale, I guess is the right way to say that. But.
Yeah. So when was Rain Man? Do you remember?
It was
Rain Man. That was 88 as well.
Yeah. Was it really?
So, yeah. Yep. So that was the first time I'd ever heard of autism was through Rain Man.
Yeah. And just a few other just random things about TV before we wrap up. So Back to the Future makes this broadcast network television premiere, and I don't remember seeing Back to the Future on TV.
I don't either.
Anyway, then as we wrap up, December 18th, Very Brady Christmas aired on CBS with a 25.1 rating and a 39 share. I assume that's really good. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, it becomes the second highest rated television film of the year. And then December 26th, Young and the Restless, which is also another cure for insomnia, becomes the number one daytime drama on television, where it still remains to this day.
Man, every time I saw the opening credits to any soap opera was like the ending of the worst day of my life, or the beginning of the worst day of my life. I'm like, oh no, turn it off immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't remember TV in high school being a big part of my life. I remember watching Saturday Night Live a lot, and that was one of the main things. Saturday night's main event when it would come on, and then maybe a random TV show here and there. But I think most of the time I was outside, either doing high school stuff or running around the neighborhood playing basketball, whatever it was. So, I guess overwhelming, not overwhelming, not underwhelming, just sort of overwhelming year in television.
Yep.
Yeah. There were some good ones, like you say, the Wonder Years, those kind of things. Those are some cool things that got started. So, but I'm with you. I don't know. Maybe I was busy. I was busy doing. That was just start of high school this year for me. Our high school started a sophomore year. So yeah, we were pretty slammed with band and school and all sorts of stuff. So, but I do remember fondly a couple of those shows. So good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff.
Definitely.
Good job.
So I guess we'll wrap this one up and head into the next one with some movies.
Yep.
So
awesome.
I'm curious about the movies of 1988. I remember going to see a lot, but I don't remember what they were. So, so I'm looking forward to seeing what all they were. Right? So
absolutely.
It'll be good stuff.
Be a good trip down memory lane.
It will. Good research, Steve. And this will wrap up TV for 1988. And we will catch you next week as we dive into some more good watching with the movies of 1988.
Awesome.
Excellent, guys. Looking forward to it.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Wayback Chronicles. All shows are written and produced by Noel, Keith, and Steve. Massive thanks to those who made these memories possible for us through the years. All songs, sounds, and effects have been attributed in the comments section and through links listed on waybackchronicles.podbean.com. We look forward to taking you way back again in the very near future.